Talk next about Glencore, which of course is a global metals producer and a commodities trader. It's got enormous operations in Switzerland. Ivan Glassenberg at the helm. He's a South African, another one of those Wits trained accountants out there in the world, killing it. 721 billion rands worth of market cap. It's got a secondary listing here, principal listing in London. Price to earnings ratio looks high at 112. That's probably related to some historic movement of profitability and what. Dividend yield of 1.9%. Some news that they want to expand in the agricultural commodity trading area.
Glencore has always been a bit different because of this trading section.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, I forget how big it is, but it's probably 40% of their business.
That's where they actually contract with producers to buy stuff and then on-sell it.
And
they don't actually own the mine.
And they don't just take a margin, they take a position.
Yeah, sometimes
so they
they'll
own
take
stock.
it on.
They
warehouse
own stock,
it.
and then they sell it hopefully at a higher price. So this what makes them a little bit different. And they had serious debt on their balance sheet.
Well, let's look at the share chart, because you'll see that in 2015, 2016, they went down.
Yeah, very much so. And they were one of the worst ones. They were one of the worst performers in the 2015 down cycle.
Yeah.
They had serious
high debt levels,
and they have slaughtered their debt. But you slaughter your debt by running down
sold
stocks,
a whole lot of stuff,
selling a whole lot of stuff, no capex.
They raised
no
some
expansion.
money at very expensive levels, and now
that's why I have some
juggled
faith that the current cycle will last a bit longer, because no one has spent money on expansion, and no one is going to spend money on expansion for the next year. So we're unlikely to see a surge in supply, and demand should be relatively stable.
Although it must be said that the trading element,
is
the quality of earnings are difficult to
you
see
can't predict
through.
it,
The
but
transparency
they have
is not great.
very recently given us an update that the trading side looks okay.
Yeah.
They've told us so far the trading looks
And look,
okay.
Glassenberg is a very experienced operator, and he has guys around him that own a lot of stock in the company, and they are tough operators that have seen a lot of things, been around the bush three times, one direction and the other.
No one can tell the future, so that's why the trading side is very difficult to predict.
But they don't speculate a lot with the commodities.
No.
They basically buy and sell, and they do timed trades. But they're experienced. They're not going to bet the farm on
not
something.
on that, but it is still very, very volatile, because your margins, if you're doing direct trading, your margins are so thin that it can disappear quickly.
In terms of their physical production, the biggest part of it is copper in Chile, and then they've got some energy, coal, and other things going on.
Now, copper is the one commodity on the next 3 to 4 years you could actually be quite bullish about, because there's good demand, and the new age is actually very positive for copper, electric vehicles, all that you can put together all the good new age stuff. It's actually very good for copper. And there's very little new supply coming on in the next year or two. So the other commodities, you can argue the moment the price goes up, eventually supply will come and the price will collapse again, because that's the commodities. But copper's the one you can maybe argue a slightly more positive story for. So that's good for Glencore and the other copper producers.
And at some level, the agricultural trading does look fairly positive, because of course food production remains an important priority with the 7 billion people and so on. So hot or not on Glencore?
No, I don't like this trading side, so I'll go not hot.
Okay, hold fast as well. So we go not hot on Glencore.